This may not necessarily be the rigid post review that we do usually here in IA, but at least we should be able to mention once more. Yeah, we should be able to mention once more some important parts of the test. To begin, let's have the highest score obtained first. For your class in English, the highest score obtained, the total number, the highest possible score is 150. Again, highest possible score, the perfect score is 150. The highest score obtained is 141, which is equivalent to 94%. Next to that is 140, equivalent to 93%. Next to 140 is 139, also equivalent to 93%. So we have these three students whose scores are really that close. 139, 140, and 141. However, it's not really in my nature to announce openly to the class what your scores are, because others might feel uncomfortable for them to be announced as the highest scorer in the class. If you wish to know your score, please send me a private message later on, and then I'll inform you of your score in English and in public speaking. But of course, in public speaking later, we can have the time. For the identification type of test, I was surprised why you forgot who the last prince was that was killed by Achilles. The last prince killed by Achilles was whom? So many of your answers wrote the name of Hector. But actually, it was not Hector. It was, correct, Rain. It was Prince Memnon, the son of the goddess of the dawn. On record, the last prince is the question. Yes, Hector is a prince, no doubt about it. He's the prince of Troy. But he is not the last prince killed by Achilles. There was someone else. The death of Prince Memnon happened next to the death of Achilles, and from the death of Memnon, Achilles also met his own death as he was killed by Paris. Of course, Paris shooting that arrow, and the arrow was guided by Apollo. Only that part, I noticed that it's only that part where others really gave a common answer with the name of Hector. Also for number 22, what is the meaning of the name of Prometheus? Forethought. But others still chose letter B, afterthought. Afterthought is the meaning of the name of Epimetheus. So Epimetheus' name means afterthought. Prometheus' name means forethought. And then, who is the man who developed or created the concept of the wooden horse? It's Odysseus. Yet others still chose one of the, for hopefully no one chose the name of Kufra. He's just a tank character. All that he does is bounce. Kufra just bounces. I'm glad. Remember this question. What was Pandora doing when Epimetheus arrived? What was Pandora doing when Epimetheus arrived? Fortunately, no one from you, I don't know, where is that? No one from you chose letter A. What's the option in letter A? She placed herself inside the box to seal it. Fortunately, no one chose. I think that's of course possible, diba? If you think about mythological stories, that could be a possibility. That in order to seal the box, one has to be sacrificed. I mean, she probably thought of sacrificing herself, placing herself inside the box, might just do it. Yes, huy, Kiana, just so you'll know, Kiana, someone chose Minos Jr. One of your classmates chose app. if I wait, there's another one. What is the other? No, it's not Minus Junior. Sorry, not Minus Junior. What is the other name of Paris? One of your classmates, at least one of your classmates chose Priam Junior. What? For sure, an answer of that sort can be eliminated right away. You can just set that aside because that answer does not even sound sane. Yes, Rain, the correct answer is Alexander. I was really surprised and amused at the same time to find that at least one student chose Priam Jr. Fortunately, no one chose the Pussycats. I'm just glad that no one chose that. In for you to choose Pompey, I see. At least the name of Pompey is a historical name. Pompey's name is a name in history. That's just like the name of Alexander. That's why I wrote the name of Pompey, because it has the same historical impact as that name of Alexander. We have names of Alexander the Great, Pompey, Napoleon, Priam Jr. Then someone chose Priam Jr. The one who... Oh my God. It must have been a very big one, Angel. Yeah, at least while checking the exam, I had some time to amuse myself looking at the answers for those who really chose Priam Jr. Thank you so much. I wanted to take a picture of it. I just did not, because for sure it will be a memory, not it will be a memory that's going to haunt the person all the time. Let's go to grammar now. I can't wait. I can't wait anymore. Let's go to grammar. Let's go to grammar. I so love grammar. So our very first lesson in grammar has something to do with nouns. Diba? Very, very advanced. We are going back to nouns. A lesson that is so familiar, supposedly familiar, yet many tend to forget how nouns are supposed to look like. That is why the name of the lesson is using different structures in noun positions. Now that you're in grade 10, we are not going to focus anymore on nouns being dogs, trees, plants, buildings, countries. No. That should not anymore, these things should not anymore be our focus, because now that you are on the last year of junior high, you are supposed to bring with you the knowledge on how to make nouns look like, how they should be structured, because nouns are not single word nouns all the time. Before we go into that, quick question. What are nouns? Vince. What is a noun, Vince? See? It's taking Vince 1 second, 2 or 3 to give me the definition of a noun. Vince, what is a noun? Is that what you see, Vince, when you look at the mirror?
Noun
Vince,
is
Vince, are you a noun?
yes,
Why?
because nouns are
See? This is what I meant earlier. Defining nouns is not supposed to be in your it's not supposed anymore to be your concern now, because at this time and age, at this level, it's just mere bread and butter already for you to know what nouns are. Neil Abergi,
Sir,
what is a noun?
a noun is A word that's used to identify someone, something.
Meaning,
What do you
your
mean?
definition, Neil, is correct. A noun is a word used to identify someone or something. At least you use the word identify. So that makes it a noun. But actually, you don't have to arrive at something that complicated, Neil, to define a noun. Because one word already stands to define a noun. What
Subject.
is a noun, Vince?
The subject.
Huh?
Noun.
Sorry. Clearly, please, louder.
Noun can identify subjects.
That's the answer of Neil. Carlos, what is a noun, Carlos? Noun is what you see when you look at the mirror lagi. Carlos, go.
Name?
Correct. That's, oh, wow. Carlos seems to have won 1,000,000. That's the simplest definition there is for a noun. A noun is a name. Anything that can be named, anything that possesses a name, anything that has a name is a noun. Anything that can be identified with a name is a noun. That's why earlier, when I asked Vince if it's a noun, for sure the answer is yes. Does he have a name? He does. That makes him a noun. What you're wearing now, is there a name for that? There is. You call that a shirt. A PE shirt, a white shirt, it's a shirt. So a colored shirt, it's a shirt. If you're wearing a dress, it's a dress. If you have a pair of pants, you have pants, shorts. All of those have names. They can be identified. And so they are all nouns. Where you are staying right now, that's a noun. That's a room, a house, a building. So all of those are nouns. But then, more than defining nouns, we should know how nouns are supposed to look like. The way nouns look like is not limited to only one. Yes, single word expressions may qualify as nouns, but nouns can be more than that. They can take on other functions or other forms. For a while, I'll try to make my phone connect to this call so that I can use it for our discussion. Wait, ha. This won't take long. You continue breathing for a while. One of them I forget. Okay, you continue breathing. Carry on, carry on. I think it's a passcode. There. Wait, someone someone wants to join the call. This is hanging wall. A cliff is a good example of a hanging wall. Okay. Can you see another person there? There's one named Simi Gadugdugdi. Just ignore him. Ignore him. He will not say anything. He will not say anything. This is what we'll do. Wait. How do we? How do we? Oh my God. Camera. Oh yeah. Wait ha. These are pictures of a slide split photograph. So notice how a slide split wall looks like. This inverted or this junction of a load
the railroad. There's a disjunction of pathway of water, perhaps. This is the pathway of water.
Wait. Let's
This
stop
is
my
an
video.
example of a strike network.
Can you look at what Simi Gadugdug V is doing?
If that is a normal fault, you'll create a slope.
Here.
If that is a reverse fault, you'll create a cliff. And if it is a straight cliff, then the land is just fair on the horizontal, but it moves.
Can you look at what Simi Gadugdug is doing, everyone?
That's the difference between the three types of fault.
Wait, I'll put him on spotlight for everyone to see here. So,
reverse fault, the hanging wall is above the football, or it will create a cliff.
wait, so
And if it is a strike slip fault,
okay.
it is
So it just has to be
simply
this.
from
Okay.
the level of the horizontal, but it goes sideways, either right, lateral.
Where's the marker? Can everybody see this?
Movement of these faults will create a
Please say something if you can see what Simi Gadugdug V is doing.
We can, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do nouns look like? Originally, this is how a noun is supposed to look like. Let's assume that the sentence is, my dog is dead. O, diba? I'm trying to improvise. I'm writing on the table. What is the noun in this sentence? I'd like to call John Buntag.
Dog?
You sounded unsure, John.
Ay.
The noun
Yeah.
is indeed dog, correct? This is obviously a noun. No doubt about it, that's a noun. But then, nouns are beyond. Nouns can be more than this. Nouns don't always look like this. This is what we call a single word noun. As it is a single word noun, obviously you can find only one word. There is just one word that can be identified as a noun in this sentence. But like what I said, nouns can have more words, can be composed of more than one word, but still taking on how a noun is supposed to function. Oh my God, I took out a lot of wipes. Let's erase. Improvising, people, improvising. Okay. To start, let us remind ourselves of how nouns are supposed to function. Before we go into the structures, I think it's fair enough that we should know first the functions of nouns. The most obvious function or basic function of a noun is for it to act. Oh my God. For a while. Okay, I'm back. The most obvious function of a noun is that of a subject. A noun functions as a subject when it is the one being talked about in a sentence. Subject. This is the first function. And again, a noun functions as a subject if it's the one being talked about. So basically, without a subject, there is no such thing as a noun, as a sentence. For a sentence to be called a sentence, there needs to be something being talked about in that group of words. Wait, I think Simi Gadugdug frames, Gadugdug's frame froze. Okay, there, it's back. For instance, my lady broke my heart. Look at the sentence. My lady broke my heart. How many nouns can you find in this sentence, Alay?
Of course, they are being located by way of knowing the wave patterns. And these wave patterns have a
Alay?
certain origin, and that is where everything is present. Okay?
Hello, Alay.
Hello, sir.
How many nouns can you find in this sentence?
The destructive earthquakes that hit.
Two.
Two, correct. What are these two nouns, Alay?
So I'll just
Lady and heart.
You have noun 1, which is lady, and noun 2, which is heart.
Heart.
Question is, what noun between these two, which noun acts as the one being talked about in this sentence? We have the word. Marco, what's the answer? Which noun is being talked about in this sentence?
again, May 12, 2008, an earthquake will
Noun 1.
Noun 1, correct. And that is
Noun 2. Ano nun?
lady.
Lady.
Since lady is the one being talked about, this word, this noun functions as the subject of the sentence. What is then the function of heart? I'm glad that the example went this way because this now gives rise to another function of a noun. And that is the direct object. Recall the lesson on sentence patterns. There are three sentence patterns. There are three sentence patterns that have a direct object. This is where we ask ourselves again of what a direct object is. What is a direct object? The direct object is, wait, I'll look for another mark. What is a direct object? A direct object is a receiver. Look, the direct object is a receiver. It's all right, Kiana. Yes, you can. What is it, or as a receiver, what is it receiving? It is the receiver of the action. This direct object answers the questions what or who or whom. So you have these questions that you have to answer. Who, whom, or what. So going back to the sentence, my lady broke my heart. For you to know whether heart functions as a direct object, you'll have to go through a process of this sort. My lady broke what? What is the answer? It's all right, Ishigo. Again, the question is, my lady broke what? What is the answer, Chelsea?
My heart.
Correct. Since the word heart answers the question what, that makes heart the direct object. Again, it answered the question what? My lady broke what? My heart. Or the word heart, making heart a direct object. One wrong notion that students think of the subject is that it should be the first noun in the sentence. But mind you, that is not the case all the time. Just because you'll find a noun right away in the sentence doesn't make that noun the subject of that sentence. So let me have an example for this. And this example leads to another function of nouns in a sentence for a while. Okay. For example, the sentence is,
We take the have you seen the movie Pacific Rim? Have you seen the movie Pacific Rim? The one with the kaiju and the Jaegers. Yeah, the locals are the Jaegers. The monsters are the kaiju. And where was that shoot? Where was that shoot? What
please don't think that the sentence is sexist or anything, huh? It's just an example. The sentence is, in our house, the girls do the chores. Again, in our house, the girls do the chores. What are the nouns in this sentence? What words are considered nouns in this sentence? Thea.
Thank you for participating in my answer question. Thank you.
Girls and house.
So you have girls,
Came out
house.
of the earth is to
Are these the only nouns in this sentence?
that destroys the dinosaurs.
Is there still one more noun, Juliana?
The bombardment of asteroids brings about volcanic eruptions, and these volcanic eruptions
What is that word, Juliana?
with gases, and these gases traps
It's the word chores, correct.
that is in our
There are actually three nouns in this sentence. You have house,
continue
girls,
where dinosaurs
and chores.
because they are hit by an asteroid.
So let's identify house as noun 1, girls as noun 2, and chores as noun 3.
And the
Three nouns, and then each noun takes on a different function. So earlier I said, there is this wrong notion among students that the first noun they see in the sentence is the subject. Again, the case is not always true. Why? We examine once more the sentence. In our house, the girls do the chores. What is the subject in this sentence, Alex?
this is the part here.
Girls.
Correct. The subject is girls.
I think this is here. Yeah,
That's the subject.
yeah.
But what is the first noun that we can find in the sentence?
It's like
Angel. It is
and then how would you do that?
House.
house, correct. House can be found in the sentence as the first noun. It does not function as a subject, rather, it functions as a receiver. This noun is a receiver.
It is named so because the Pacific Ocean is
But it is not a direct object.
volcanoes.
It is not a direct object. Grammar has three receivers. There are three receivers in grammar. The first receiver is a direct object. We had that already earlier. The second one is this receiver that we have in this sentence. And what is it? Take note that, wait, I'll have to look for another marker.
From that perspective,
I have another marker. Take note that in our house is a particular group of words. Look at in our house. It's composed of words. So how do you call in grammar a group of words? Not having a subject nor a predicate. How do you call it? In grammar, that group of words is called a what, Leisha?
Phrase.
A phrase, correct. So automatically, this is a phrase.
the movement of the fold. When this fold moves,
What kind of phrase is in our house? For you to know the answer, you look at the first word in that group of words. In here, we have the word,
they escape their bent
we have the word in, and in is what, Lorraine?
as a form of labanan because that is already outside of the sentence.
How do you call in?
Preposition.
Correct, it's a
Very
preposition.
tremor. Let's say, for example, the plate here
Therefore, in our house is a prepositional phrase. Again, in our house is a prepositional phrase. And every prepositional phrase has a receiver. That receiver is what we refer to as the OP, or known as the object of the preposition. So in our house is a prepositional phrase. House is a noun which functions as the object of the preposition. However, there is still one more noun in the sentence, and that word is chores. Let's look at this noun. What does this do? If you read the sentence again, you can ask yourself, in our house, the girls do what? Since chores answers the question what, the word chores takes on what function? Nice. Nice. What is the function of chores? I think Nice just turned her camera on, but she's not around. I'll call someone else. Ishi. Since chores answers the question what is the function of chores in the sentence?
Object.
Again. Again, louder, Ishi.
Object.
What kind of object? There are already two objects in this sentence. Sorry, we have already two objects this morning. The first example earlier has a direct object. There's another object here, and that's the object of the preposition. The word chores, Ishi, look at this word. What object is it taking on? What is the function of chores? Ishi? Hello, Ishi? I can't hear you, Ishi. You can type in your answer, Ishi.
Perhaps 1 millimeter a year or 1 millimeter in 10 years, but they are constantly moving because under the Earth's
Ishi?
crust
Wait. Can
is
everyone hear me? Okay, it's the direct object, correct, Ishi? Chores is the direct object. It's the DO, direct object, since it answered the question what. Again, the sentence is, in our house, the girls do what? The answer is chores. Since chores answer the question what, that makes chores the direct object. Questions so far regarding these three functions: subject, direct object, indirect object. Do you have some questions? If there's none, we will have another sentence that shows another function of a noun in that same sentence. By the way, as of this time, what you're seeing is a noun used, a single word noun used to function, used to take on these several functions. Okay. Let's have this sentence.
And before class, Earth was just made of a single land mass, a single water as well. If this is the Earth, this is Pangaea, all of it is also water. Wala nothing ocean, wala may.
So this is your sentence. I gave my friend a hug. What are the nouns in this sentence? Jaika.
If Andrea was the single line class, the single body
Jaika.
as
Sir,
What are the nouns in this sentence?
I friend.
Is I a noun?
good is good. But
Is
Ano,
I
it's
really a
friend.
noun? You have friend.
the list is what answer.
Is there only one noun in the sentence, Jaika?
In several references, this debatable is which is correct and which is not, but both are acceptable.
I, sir.
Is I a noun?
Is it?
What happened to your lesson on pronouns? Why are you looking at I as a noun? I isn't a noun, it's a pronoun. Is there only one noun in the sentence? Claire, Honey Claire. Is there only one noun in the sentence, Honey Claire? Carlos, is there only one noun in the sentence?
Okay, let's now make use of
Hug.
You have
Hug.
another noun which is hug.
Hug.
what is the Richter scale or what is the
So we have noun 1 which is friend and noun 2 which is hug.
measures the
I gave what? What's the answer?
Richter scale
Thea.
magnitude
I gave what?
scale versus
Hug.
Hug, correct. Hug answered the question what? So what is the function of hug? Neil.
Direct object.
Correct. It's the direct object. What about friend? The question now here is, for whom is the hug? To whom was it given? What's the answer, Vince?
the moment magnitude scale for multitude and the current scale is for intensity. The Richter scale is numbered multitude.
Vince, to whom was the hug given? Alex, to whom was the hug given, Alex?
What's the difference between
Friend.
To the word friend, to the person represented by the word friend. So here we have another receiver.
after earthquake? Simple as that. The strength
If the direct object is the receiver of the action,
from
the object of the preposition is the receiver of the relation established by the preposition.
longest
Here, there is a receiver of the
is the
direct object.
because of the magnitude times it.
There is a noun in this sentence. It's all right, Thea. There's a noun in this sentence which is considered as the receiver of the direct object. In fact, earlier, we answered the question, to whom was the hug given? The answer is friend. That makes friend the indirect object.
But intensity is the measure of the
So you have three receivers now in grammar. The direct object, the receiver of the action, the indirect object, the receiver of the direct object, and the object of the preposition, the one that we had earlier, considered as the receiver of the relation established by the preposition. So these are your three receivers in grammar, which nouns can also take on as a function. And again, Jaika, I is a pronoun, it's not a noun. I is used to substitute nouns as they are called pronouns. So how many functions do we have now of nouns? 4. Subject, direct object, object of the preposition, and indirect object. Let's have another function. Other than these 4, nouns can take on functions outside of being a receiver. For instance,
So Richter scale goes from 0 to 10. I think that's also function in module. For the sarcastic
Here's your sentence. My friend is Christian. What are the nouns in this sentence? John Abiliana.
Friend and Christian.
So you have two nouns. This is noun 1 and this is noun 2. What is the function of the word friend? Chelsea.
Object.
It's the subject, correct.
Okay, talking about late boundaries,
It's the subject. What about the name of Christian? What does it do in this sentence? Before we know the function, before we identify the function of Christian, let's examine first its purpose in this sentence. Look, the name Christian gives an identity to the word friend. Question is, can that friend be Christian? The answer is yes. In the same way, can Christian be that friend? Still, the answer is yes. To this, we can even reach a point of interchanging the position of the two. Meaning, we can have a sentence stated as Christian is my friend. We can have a sentence structured this way. Do they have the same meanings? They do. We are not distorting anything. We have not changed the name of the friend. We have still kept Christian identified as the friend. In the original sentence, what is the function of Christian? Someone already wrote it. Christian takes on the function of a complement. Careful with the spelling. It is with a letter E for the last two syllables. Complement. We do not read that as complement. A complement is different from a complement. And since this is a noun, we refer to this as a predicate noun or a predicate nominative. This is the complete term for it. Predicate nominative. Specifically, it's a predicate nominative, but generally you can just call it a complement. So again, look at that sample. My friend is Christian. Friend is a noun. It takes on the function of a subject. Christian is a noun. It takes on the function as a complement.
Sir,
Specifically, it's a predicate nominative. Yes, there's a question.
Is it the same with subject complement, right?
You can call it as well as a subjective complement. Why do we label it though as a predicate nominative? Because it's a predicate. Yes, you can also call it a subjective complement or an SC. Subjective complement because it's a complement to the subject. That's for the first sentence. Let's examine the second sentence, the interchange of positions that we did. What is the function of Christian in this sentence? John Buntag. What is the function of Christian? John Buntag. John?
Subject.
Again.
Subject.
Why? What seemed to be the confusion earlier, John? You kind of doubted your answer. You were kind of in doubt when you tried to answer the question. Is there some form of doubt, John?
Now I'll just answer subject, sir.
Correct. Because obviously this is a subject. What about friend? What is the function of friend in this sentence? Fiona.
Subjective complement.
Correct. Friend takes on the same function as the name Christian in the original sentence. See, but of course you can see that the meanings are the same. We just interchange the positions of the two. By the way, do not be surprised The complement also answers the questions what or who, just like your direct object. The clear difference is the direct object and the direct objects and the subject's positions cannot be interchanged, meaning the direct object cannot refer back to the subject. Different from this. Can you see, if you can see these arrows signify that the subject refers to the complement. In the same way, the complement refers back to the subject. That's the relationship of these two. Such cannot be seen with direct objects. Let's concretize that. Let's erase.
I mean, the difference between the two normal and reverse fault is the movement of the hammy and the football.
The concept of having a reference back to the subject cannot be found with the direct object. Proof is this one.
Next round, the series round is memorized. And then the do's and don'ts of having an earthquake can be discussed further when we have it in a
Sentence is Mom baked some cookies. What are the nouns in this sentence? I'd like to call Rain. What are the nouns in this sentence, Rain?
And cookies.
Mom and cookies, correct. So we have noun 1, which is mom, and noun 2, which is cookies. So for the subjective complement or complement, it refers back to the noun. That's why the arrows were shown earlier. In this example, the case is not true. Why? Can mom be the cookies? For sure, no. Can cookies be the mom? For sure, the answer is no. This arrow does not exist if what you have here is a direct object. Why is it a direct object? The answer to what is available. Mom baked what? The answer is cookies. But cookies does not refer back to mom, nor does the word mom refer back to cookies. This remains to be a direct object even if, my gosh, the suggestion of Leja is quite cannibalistic and brutal. Some cookies baked mom. That's an entirely different sentence. That's really brutal now, Leja. That's not yet the end of the functions of nouns. We have still a long way to go. So we now have subject, direct object, indirect object, object of the preposition, and the complement. But still we have one more function, and that function is this one.
Because that's the aftershock, the shock after the big shock, aftershock, and then it will record for more than 100 aftershocks. The earthquake is that strong. What else are you going to prepare?
So that's your sentence. My friend Jillian died last night. What is the subject in this sentence? Neil.
Friend.
It's friend, correct. This is the subject. We have another noun. Obviously, it's a noun. It's in fact a proper noun, and that name is Jillian. What is the purpose of the name of Jillian in this sentence? Jillian's name is placed in this sentence to provide a specific identity to that friend of mine who died last night. Specific information is, yes, it's all right, I see. Specific information is provided by the name, by the noun Julian. Sorry, Jillian. There are nouns which provide added information or specific information towards other nouns. We call them appositives. So we have here an appositive. An appositive which provides an added information to the word friend. It gives additional information. It tries to specify, gives more details of the noun that it comes after. Like what it's doing here. Of course, the sentence can live with, my friend died last night. You can have a sentence structured that way, eliminating the name of Jillian. However, that sentence stated as my friend died last night does not present the complete name of the friend, the identity of the friend. The presence of the name Jillian in this sentence gives an identity of who that friend is who died last night. That's what appositives do. At some point, it may be called a necessary appositive or an unnecessary appositive. And of course, we only have the author to ask whether that appositive is deemed necessary or not. Questions so far regarding the functions of nouns? If there are no more questions, we proceed now to nouns in different structures, but it's already 10:46. It's already 10:46. So let's do it this way. Let's put it this way.
This is what I demanded. You're turning off your cameras, so you don't turn off my camera. So since there are a lot of people who are turning off their cameras, maybe in our class later into the
Okay.
I'll turn off my camera then.
Any questions so far regarding the functions of nouns?
Also, if there are a lot of you guys who turn off the camera later,
Any clarification? Anything? Any question? Any doubt? Any confusion? Please address them now, because at least these concerns would have already been cleared out before we proceed into the other structures of nouns. If there's none, this afternoon in public speak. Wait, sir, in FT1 in module 1. Why? What about it?
2 minutes. Bye everyone.
Why? What about it, Kiana? Underline? Like underline. Yeah, underline. Anyway, what I just showed to you this morning is a set of single word nouns. We have not yet really touched the other structures of nouns. That is why this afternoon, for public speaking, we will do the continuation of this. Instead of doing your manuscripts, we will prioritize this, especially that there are activities that have to be answered and checked by Thursday. Of course, once the discussion is done, we can proceed with Rain and Angel volunteering for the manuscript today, if time allows. If time allows. So there's a question. The question is, do we underline every noun in FT1? The goal is to underline all noun functioning words. It's possible that in FT1, it's not only a single word noun that you will underline. Be open to the possibility that you might underline phrases or even clauses for as long as it functions as a noun. And that's why the discussion this afternoon will have to be provided. Kiana, I hope that answers your question. For the question of Chelsea, sir, prepositional phrases is part of the function. Prepositional phrases contain the object of the preposition. So far for this morning, the functions of nouns that we are talking about are subject, direct object, indirect object, object of the preposition, complement, subjective complement or predicate nominative, and the appositive. There are 6 functions of nouns that have been shared to you this morning. Actually, there is still one more. And this remaining function is the reason why we have an STVDOOC sentence pattern, the objective complement. So this afternoon, we begin with that. So for now, we'll end it here. Goodbye and thank you, grade 10.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And thank you,
Goodbye and
sir.
thank you,
Bye,
Sir
and thank you,
Sim.
Sir Sim.
Sir Sim.